Staying in touch is just a few clicks away. Get the latest news from a Catholic perspective and so much more. Become a RealCatholicTV.com premium member today.
Catholic News Roundup is brought to you in part by PewSitter.com, your online Catholic newspaper for the third millennium. CatholicMediaCoalition.org, in line with the Church, online with the world.
And TheAmericanCatholic.com, politics and culture from a Catholic perspective.
Hello and welcome to today's edition of Catholic News Roundup. I'm Matthew McAuliffe. Court of public opinion. Americans are showing an overwhelming disapproval of Obama's health care mandate as the Supreme Court hearings on the issue draw closer. Gallup's recently published report shows that 72% of American adults believe the mandate that forces all Americans to purchase health care is unconstitutional, while 56% of Democrats polled agree. Obama's signature piece of legislation goes on trial next month, following the recent lawsuit filed by 7 states challenging the Affordable Care Act. There is still some speculation as to whether or not the Supreme Court will push the case off until a later date, which could mean a delay until 2017 before the case is even heard, not surprisingly, long after the upcoming presidential election. Gay on gay crime. A Massachusetts assault case of 3 lesbians attacking a homosexual is raising some questions, one of which is, can the so-called, quote, sexual orientation of an attacker determine whether or not it is a hate crime? Both prosecutors and the attorneys from the American Civil Liberties Union, or the ACLU, in the case claimed that the lesbian attackers can most definitely be accused of a hate crime, and they intend on pushing for that conviction as well as assault and battery with intent to intimidate, which carries a 10-year sentence. Civil liberties lawyer and author Harvey Silverglate says this case only illustrates the idiocy of hate crime legislation, commenting, quote, "If you beat someone up, you're guilty of assault and battery of a human being, period. The idea of trying to break down human beings into categories is doomed to failure," end quote. A Massachusetts state law passed late last year called an Act Relative to Gender Identity will officially make lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people a protected class when it goes into effect on July 1st, 2012. Mapping condom use. Your, quote, safe sexual encounters should be shared with the rest of the world, according to Planned Parenthood, and that is exactly what they are encouraging college kids to do with their latest campaign. America's abortion giant distributed more than 55,000 condoms in Washington state alone with QR codes that can be scanned by smartphones, enabling condom users to log into a website, share their location, and boast about their sexual encounters. The campaign, called Where Did You Wear It?, says shared locations are only approximate, so, quote, your special spot stays secret. So far, according to GeekWire, there have been 955 check-ins and over 10,000 page hits for the campaign in all 50 states and on 6 continents. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a few seconds.
Catholic News Roundup is brought to you in part by NewOxfordReview.org, the voice of Catholic Orthodoxy, in print and on the web, and RenewAmerica.com, expanding the influence of America's grassroots in the cause of freedom.
Secret sexting. Sexting has become increasingly more popular with tweens and teens in today's society, and parents should also know that there are phone applications out there that can be used to hide such messages. Applications like Text Plus or Text Free are free texting services that store messages within the application itself after setting up a separate phone number for receiving text messages, allowing teens the opportunity to hide their sexting activities. Studies have shown that sexting, which is the use of an electronic device to distribute pictures or video of sexually explicit images, is being practiced by 11% of girls between the ages of 13 and 16, and that 22% of teen girls take part overall as well. And in the case of boys, 18% have also sent or posted nude or semi-nude photos or videos of themselves. A cyber investigator near Denver, Colorado, only just recently busted a sexting ring run by middle schoolers who were using such apps to hide texts from their parents So, if you monitor your kids' phones, just make sure you are aware of what you need to look for. Legislating Personhood. Virginia and Oklahoma seem to be in a race to see who would pass personhood legislation first, but now it looks like if it gets passed at all this year, Oklahoma will be carrying it across the finish line. After Virginia's House passed a bill saying that unborn children, quote, at every stage of development are considered persons, the state Senate sent the bill back to committee, voting 24-14 to kill the bill until 2013. However, Oklahoma's law declaring that life begins with the unborn, which passed the Sooner State House 2 weeks ago, is expected to pass the Senate with flying colors to land on the desk of an openly pro-life governor, Mary Fallin. However, there is still some suspense, as Fallin told the National Journal, quote, "It's still too early for me to make a judgment call on whether I'll sign it, but in general, I'm a pro-life governor." I'm Matthew McAuliffe. Thanks for tuning in today. Be sure and tune in tomorrow for your daily dose of Catholic News Roundup, right here on RealCatholicTV.com. Also be sure to check out The Vortex, where Michael talks about the tragedy of Catholics for contraception. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to tell all your friends about us. And as always, God bless you.